Hey everybody, welcome to the Boxlab Recap Show from the beautiful Caribe Royale here in Orlando, the site of Most Valuable Prospects 10. As always, I'm with the man who called the color for tonight's fights, Nonito The Flash Donaire. Nonito, good to see you, buddy.
Good seeing you, man. Thanks for having me again.
Listen, Nonito, we've been doing these Most Valuable Prospect series throughout the year. Most Valuable Prospects 10 here. Jake Paul was in the building. Amanda Serrano's in the building. The WBA convention's happening this weekend. Juana Walton was fighting. What'd you make of Most Valuable Prospects overall? This card is great.
That was an amazing card, man. Everybody fought hard, but mainly, they got to show it in front of the legends like Tito Trinidad, Cotto, and all these guys that was here. So, I mean, just the fight in itself was amazing.
That's right. And a legend right now who I'm talking to. That's right, the multi-time world champion. So let's get into some of the fights from the card because I was really impressed up and down the lineup. The first matchup of the night on the prelims, Hendri Cedeno, Luis Ramos. This was a very good match in terms of just skill. But what'd you make of Hendri Cedeno? He's fought here before. He's a very good puncher. He's got a great jab on him.
Cedeno was really skillful. He had to adjust because the guy, Ramos, was just this tough, hard as a rock, keep coming kind of guy, and it tested Cedeno to be different, to box and not get hit. So it was good. It was a good experience for him, and he showed different levels of Cedeno's capabilities.
Yeah, I think Cedeno's one to watch, an undefeated fighter at 15-0. Let's move to the heavyweights because this is the matchup everybody was talking about. 585 pounds in the ring between Gurgen Hovhannysian and Patrick Malata. This was such a physical fight. Nonito, you've called heavyweight fights before. I mean, what did you make of the way these guys were exchanging blows? And then obviously the controversial scoring of this fight. Some people would say, if you're scoring it technically, Gurgen looked like the aggressor. If you weren't, the other guy looked like the aggressor.
Right. Well, that depends on how you perceive things, because there's different judges who sees different kinds or score different ways, like who's aggressive or who's boxing. So it depends on all of that. But that fight in itself was incredible because Malata was pressing, was doing his thing and hurt Hovhannysian, and Hovhannysian showed his grits, and at the end, the last two rounds, he had his second win and he looked amazing.
He did look amazing. Gurgen remains undefeated. Let's move over to a good local fight that was really a fight for a title. Jackson Blanco and Giovanni Estella. Giovanni coming off the tough loss that happened out there in Japan. What'd you make of this fight overall? Because this was a good style clash fight.
It was, in the beginning, they were just kind of looking at each other and trying to figure out each other. Blanco came in there with power that kind of derailed Estella's, ways of fighting. But then in the mid rounds, he started finding his rhythm, finding his jabs and stuff like that. But again, it was a very contested fight. Both guys were afraid to get countered, and so that's why they held off. And then Blanco came in and did it different ways. He changed up his fighting style and was able to throw more punches instead of just trying to go for a knockout. And it was a great fight.
Now I want to get into the main event card because there's a lot to watch on this main event card. We're going to get into the main event in a second. But Dainier The Fear Pero, you've called this guy's fights before, back in July. He hits so hard, and he got a first-round stoppage. What'd you make of Dainier now, second time having seen him up close and personal?
Well, Dainier definitely has great power, can box, but mainly he's improving every single time that I see him. Not only that his physical is forming to be this, to be a more muscular, but his ways of fighting, the power, and just all of that stuff. Very, very impressive for Dainier.
Very, very impressive indeed. Dainier Pero now wins a title, gets a title under his belt. Now he's 10-0. We'll see who he fights next. I want to get into the main event because this is the card that had everybody talking. Antonio Vargas, Winston Guerrero, a matchup to watch. What did you make of this event? Because you were talking about this. These guys were exchanging blows, second round knockdown. What did you make of this fight overall?
It was a level of skills that Antonio Vargas showed between him and Guerrero. Guerrero was there as a warrior. He fought well, and he was able to time Antonio Vargas with a big shot, and I thought it was out. But that's the heart that Antonio Vargas came in. He just didn't give up, and he recovered and took over, learned, and Yeah, man. And congratulations to him being a champion.
Congratulations to him. Now he is 19-1. He wins the world championship at that bantamweight division. We're waiting for that matchup to happen in Japan, but Antonio Vargas is going to be one to watch. Nonito Donaire, it's been fun to do these with you over here. Most Valuable Prospects 10. We'll see you all in 2025 for the next installment of the series. As always, for The Flash, Nonito Donaire, I'm Mike Leon.